You're watching DD The Defense Dynamics. I am Danveer from New Delhi, connecting to our viewers from India and around the world. In the next 30 minutes or so of this episode of Defense Dynamics, we'll get to you some fascinating facts, details and analysis of defense-related news this week. The Israeli Air Force has used powerful Joint Direct Munition, the JDAM BLU 109 bunker buster bombs. They have done that to destroy Hezbollah bunkers, and they have killed Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah. So what are these bunker buster bombs? Does the Indian Air Force have such an inventory? What are the types of bunker buster bombs with the Indian Air Force? As the Indian Air Force celebrates its 92nd year of raising, what do the futuristic plans look like? Why is the self-reliance in defense, design and manufacture of utmost strategic importance? India is not only to export its Wheeled Armoured Personnel Carrier to Morocco, but also establish a plan to cater for their future military needs. Why is this a big leap forward? And finally, on India's NSA, Mr. Ajit Doval's visit to France. What is the importance of this visit? Why strategic tie-ups between India and France going to place India in a different league and altogether? The Israeli military said that Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah on 28 September 2024 was eliminated in a targeted strike by the Israeli Air Force. This strike was carried out on the group's headquarters, which was beneath the residential building in Dahia, a Hezbollah-controlled southern suburb of Beirut. The airstrike on Dahia by Israeli Air Force shook Beirut. It was reported that 80 ground-penetrating bunker-busting bombs, presumably the JDAM BLU 109s, were used in quick succession, creating massive, powerful blasts, each leaving a crater of more than 20 meters deep. So, what are these JDAM bunker buster bombs and how do they work? Israeli Air Force used JDAM, the Joint Direct Attack Munition BLU 109, to eliminate the Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah hiding deep inside a bunker in Beirut. So what are these JDAMs? To explain this, I have got a graphic image on the video wall right behind me. You can see this is the graphic image of a JDAM. So JDAM is nothing but a dumb bomb which has got a seeker, sensor and an aerodynamic arrangement to glide it through. Now as you look at this picture, we have a sensor and a seeker right at the nose, then we have fins at the back, and they also have wings that can be used as an attachment to glide deeper. This is the graphic display of the circular error probability. So what happens is when the bombs are dropped, they seek the area and they strike with precision. So that circular error probability is extremely less. And what we can see, this is the blast that took place that culled out Hassan Nasrallah from his hideout hiding deep below, and it is said that a crater of up to 30 meters was created. And after this, the Israeli Defense Forces came on with a tweet which said that Hassan Nasrallah will no longer be able to terrorize the world. India has also used similar type of bombs in its surgical strikes on Balakot in year 2019. Let's take a look at the inventory of India's bunker buster bomb and missiles. India also has JDAMs. We have used such bombs during the Balakot strike. Right behind me on the video wall, we have one such bomb called the Spice 2000. As you can see on this image, the blue portion is actually the bomb, and the gray portion in front with fins and in the rear are basically sensors and the aerodynamic attachment because of which this bomb takes a glide and can penetrate deep into the enemy territory. Now, the bunker buster bomb Spice 2000 is popularly known as a building blaster. So this particular weapon or the bomb goes deep inside the building and then blasts and destroys it. It is an acronym. The Spice is an acronym which means smart, precise, impact and cost effective. So this is Why this particular weapon is very effective? Because it is cost effective and it is precise. It can strike the enemy deep, hiding inside the bunkers. It has been manufactured by Israeli defense technology company called the Rafale. Rafale is the company that has produced these particular bombs. It weighs around 2,000 pounds and it has a range of around 60 kilometers. What it means is basically once they are released, they can glide up to 60 kilometers and they have got a circular error probability which is less than 3 meters. That means after being released from 60 kilometers, they can precisely strike within the 3 meters of diameter. Now, they also work on the principle of fire and forget. That means once they are dropped, the aircraft goes back to its own base while this particular bomb is gliding into the enemy territory and striking. The another beautiful aspect of this particular weapon is that it can be used during the day, night, and basically in all weather conditions, including the adverse weather. So this is the beauty of this particular weapon system. It has, as I mentioned, it has a circular error probability of 3 meters, and also it can penetrate 3 meters into a 500 psi reinforced concrete and up to 10 meters of raw earth. So basically 3 meters of concrete and 10 meters of earth it can penetrate inside and then blast, and that is how these bombs produce such huge craters that we saw in Lebanon. The craters were from 20 meters to 30 meters. Another very effective bunker buster missile or the ammunition that we have is the Hammer missile. It is not a very new missile, but this missile has been incorporated with the Tejas LCA of Indian Air Force, and it is absolutely effective JDAM. The only difference between what we spoke about SPICE and this is that this particular equipment or the armament has a propulsion system. So let me talk about it first. This is the missile. These are the sensors and the fins. This is the propulsion unit with the fins, which basically gives it aerodynamic direction, speed and stability. Now the meaning of this Hammer missile, again it's an acronym, and it means highly agile modular munition extended range. So this is what it means, that it has got an extended range munition which comes by the propulsion unit. So it is basically a simple bomb with an attachment of a propulsion unit that converts a basic dumb bomb into a missile. Now it has been developed by French company, the Safran Electronics and Defense. Safran is another great company which is collaborating with India on different development projects as far as Indian defense equipment is concerned. The weight of this particular missile and the range is different for different requirements, like 125, 250, 500 and 1000 kgs, and accordingly the range also alters as per the weight of the missile, basically the bomb. The range maximum it can achieve is that of 70 kilometers. That means once it has been released, it can go inside the enemy territory 70 kilometers and do the job. Circular error probability is just 1 meter. So like what we spoke of the SPICE, which had 3 meters of CEP, this particular weapon system has just 1 meter of CEP. Again, it functions on the principle of fire and forget and multiple target engagement. So it can engage multiple targets. That is another beauty of this particular weapon system. It has got very advanced navigation system that is based on hybrid inertial system, GPS and infrared homing or laser guidance system. These are different kinds of navigation systems that can be attached to this particular missile for accuracy. Another good aspect of this missile is that it can be fired at a very safe standoff distance, and it can be used both day and in night and in all weather conditions. So that makes it a very potent weapon system. Now it is very ideal for operations in places like Ladakh, which are high altitude areas, mountainous regions where you have got a lot of caves, rocks, and the bunkers are easy to be made. So these are the bunker busters that can be very effective in that kind of a terrain. As the Indian Air Force celebrates its 92nd Raising Day, showcasing its frontline fighters like Su-30 MKI, the MiG-29s, the light combat aircraft Tejas alongside attack helicopter Prachand, and the utility helicopter ALH Dhruv, the eyes are all set on the future, and this is evident from this year's Air Force's theme, which is Bharatiya Vayu Sena Saksham, Sashakt or Atmanirbhar, meaning Indian Air Force is capable, strong and self-reliant, thus highlighting the Air Force's commitment to national security, self-reliance and modernization. The primary focus of current modernization and upgrades is to replace the aircrafts purchased from Soviet Union that form the backbone of the Indian Air Force. The Indian Air Force plans to attain a 42 squadron strength by 2035 and deploy up to 450 fighter jets, each along the borders of Pakistan and China. Indian Air Force will acquire large number of stealthy autonomous UCAVs or unmanned combat aerial vehicles like the Ghatak, swarm drones and uncrewed aircraft to transform it into a fully advanced network-centric air force capable of sustained multi-role operations along the entire spectrum. India's futuristic projects and equipments that are under development are definitely very fascinating. The India's 5th generation stealth aircraft, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft or the AMCA, is expected to be inducted by year 2035. This is according to Defence Research and Development Organization's chairman, Mr. Samir V. Kamath. He says India is amongst a select few nations that are developing their own stealth aircraft. Mr. Kamath has said that the 5.5 generation AMCA fighter aircraft is a stealth aircraft, adding that the DRDO has initiated the development process of this aircraft's design, which is already completed. According to Mr. Kamath, DRDO aims to finish AMCA developmental trials by year 2034, with induction slated for year 2035. The AMCA has also been described as 5.5 generation fighter aircraft in several media reports and by members of India's defense establishment in the past. This means that it will incorporate some of the features that will be seen in the upcoming 6th generation jets being developed by United States and China, which already operate 5th generation platforms. The Hindustan Aeronautic Limited's Tejas Mark II, also known as Medium Weight Fighter or HAL's MWF. It is planned single-engine, delta-wing, multi-role fighter aircraft that has been designed by the Aeronautical Development Agency or the ADA and the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited or the HAL for Indian Air Force. It is a further development of HAL's Tejas or the Light Combat Aircraft program, which began way back in year 1980s. This was to replace India's aging MiG-21 fighter aircrafts. The Tejas Mark II is being developed to replace multiple strike fighters like the Speedcat Jaguars, the SAW Mirage 2000 and MiG-29s of the Indian Air Force. India's new advanced single-engine fighter jet, Tejas Mark II, is expected to take its first test flight in next 2 years in 2026. This timeline has emerged recently after a meeting led by Defence Research Organisation Development Head Dr. Samir V. Kamath and the Indian Air Force Deputy Chief Air Marshal Ashutosh Dikshit. The HAL's Combat Air Teaming System is a planned uncrewed and crewed combat aircraft air teaming system being developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. This system will consist of a crewed fighter aircraft acting as a mothership of the system and a set of swarming UAVs and the UCAVs governed by the main aircraft. A twin-seated HAL Tejas is likely to be the main fighter aircraft and in future it can be the AMCA as well. HAL CATS Warrior, part of HAL Combat Air Teaming System, is an armed stealth drone which will team up and fight along the Indian Air Force's fighters to hit high-value targets. It is designed to carry out multiple types of operations. It will be the first line of offense in operations against heavily defended integrated air defense networks. In a significant stride towards advancing India's defense capabilities, state-owned Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has initiated the procurement process for the components necessary for developing the CATS Warrior Loyal Wingman prototype. According to the information available in open domain, HAL aims to roll out the prototype by early 2026, adhering to the planned timelines. Indian Multi-Role Helicopter, or the IMRH. The HAL's medium lift helicopter IMRH is a planned large rotorcraft in 15 to 20 ton category. All three branches of the Indian Armed Forces, that is Army, Navy and Air Force, are likely to be the customers for this helicopter. According to the HAL, the IMRH is to be the same class as Russian Mi-17 and is to serve as a planned replacement in all three services. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and Safal Helicopter Engines Private Limited have signed on airframer contract to commence joint design, development, manufacture, supply and support of a new generation high-power engine named Aravali for the 13-ton medium lift class Indian multi-role helicopter, or the IMRH, and the deck-based multi-role helicopter, or the DBMRH. The IMRH and the DBMRH are being designed and developed by HAL. As per the HAL, the name Aravali is derived from the mighty mountain ranges in Western India, symbolizing the aspirations of the country in achieving self-reliance in the critical engine technology. The futuristic Indian Air Force will also be utilizing the space in defense of India. The IAF is increasingly procuring and developing space-related equipments and assets. In 2023, the IAF was looking to procure a reusable launch vehicle, a space plane being developed by the ISRO. In March 2024, the Chief of Defence Staff Anil Chauhan announced that the Indian Armed Forces had allocated Rs 25,000 crores for defence space requirements, including building a constellation of surveillance satellites in order to achieve secure communication networks. In July 2024, startup Pixel announced that it plans to supply miniaturized multi-payload satellites for monitoring goals of IAF by 2025. As the Indian Air Force celebrates its 92nd racing day, it's very important for us to look at the inventory and the aircrafts that are held by the Indian Air Force. It has got a very potent array of fighter aircrafts. Right behind me on the video wall, we can see the Sukhoi 30 MKI. It is of Russian origin. It can carry a very heavy payload, very extended range and reach this particular aircraft has. Similarly, like this particular Russian aircraft, we also have a French aircraft. This is Mirage 2000. This aircraft has been produced by Dassault France, the same company that has given us Rafale. So this aircraft, when it was purchased, it had the capability to carry nuclear bombs as well. Now, another very great aircraft this Air Force had, now it is at the edge of being phased out, is the MiG-21. They were inducted in 1963. They have seen the 65 war, they have seen the 71 war, and they were also used in the Kargil. Now, a very small part of this fleet is remnant, and they are likely to be phased out by year 2025. Another Russian origin aircraft that the Indian Air Force has is the MiG-29. We have got around 2 squadrons of these aircrafts, and they are Russian origin. Again, very potent, and this aircraft can carry out a maneuver called the Cobra maneuver, which is a signature of this particular aircraft. Then apart from this, we have other Russian aircrafts as well, like what we can see on the screen is MiG-27. They have very recently been phased out. They took a very active participation in the Kargil war, and now, as I said, that they have been phased out, but they were extremely good when it came to ground support. Another aircraft which is still going strong is the Jaguar aircraft. Now, this Jaguar aircraft is Anglo-French origin, and it is again for ground attack and ground support role. It is doing great in the Air Force. They have recently been modified, and their capabilities have been enhanced, so they will last a bit longer. Now, the other aircraft that we have is the Dassault Rafale. We have all seen a lot of images of these fantastic aircraft that we purchased from France, and it is said that we should go in for more of these aircraft, because whatever purchases that we did are actually not so sufficient. So let's see in near future, do we have more of these or not. The next aircraft is absolutely interesting, and it's a matter of pride for all of us, and that is the LCA Tejas. It's Indian designed and manufactured equipment. This is going to be India's future and the backbone of the Indian Air Force. Another British origin aircraft that we have is the Hawk Mk132. It is the third stage jet trainer. It can also be used for ground attack, ground support role. Now, this aircraft is also used for aerial displays that we see whenever celebrations take place. In those red and white stripes, these aircraft are seen over the skies, creating Indian tri-flag. Very popularly seen on the Republic Day and various other events. In a major success for Make in India initiative, the Indian firm Tata will build around 150 wheeled armored platform combat vehicles for the Moroccan Defense Forces. This contract has been signed between the Indian firm and the Moroccan Armed Forces for building 150 of these vehicles for their military. The WAP vehicles were developed by Vehicle Research and Development Establishment in partnership with Tata. According to the contract, the vehicles will be supplied to Moroccan forces over a period of 3 years. This will be the biggest contract for Indian-made armored vehicles both within and outside the country. Indian paramilitary forces have also placed orders for these indigenous armored vehicles. The Tata Wheeled Armoured Personnel Carrier is 8x8 wheeled armoured platform which is powered by Cummins ISX 600 engine. The 8x8 wheel configuration is set on a hydropneumatic suspension utilizing a double wishbone arrangement. All wheels are equipped with a run-flat capability to allow vehicle to move even after suffering from multiple punctures. The vehicle has 4 axles. The front axle is steerable, which reduces the turning radius of the vehicle significantly. The WAP, as it is known, is a 24-ton vehicle with amphibious capability. The hydrojets in the rear of the vehicle helps it to propel in water at a speed of 10 km per hour. The vehicle has maximum on-road speed of 100 km per hour and off-road speed of 40 km per hour. It has gradability of 30 degrees and can cross a trench 1.8 meters wide. The trials of this vehicle had been going on in Morocco for last several months. The manufacturers will work closely with DRDO teams to provide inputs for upgrades to the vehicle during the supply period. The WAP is an indigenously developed and designed amphibious wheeled combat vehicle. According to DRDO, the design philosophy of this platform aligns with the global trends and focuses on modularity, scalability, and reconfigurability to adapt the platform for various roles. The VAP can easily navigate through muddy or slushy terrain and has the capability to withstand mine blasts. The variants of the VAP, including the Infantry Protected Mobility Vehicle, the IPMV, and the paramilitary version, have been inducted in the Indian Army and the paramilitary forces. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval is in Paris. On October 1st, he met the Armed Forces Minister of France in Paris and discussed enhancing bilateral defense relations and advancing space collaboration, as well as he held discussions on evolving global security situation. During this visit, Indian National Security Advisor Mr. Ajit Doval engaged in extensive discussions with French Armed Forces Minister Mr. Sébastien Lecornu. Their dialogue aimed at deepening bilateral defense cooperation and advancing space collaboration, while also sharing insights on evolving international geopolitical landscape. Mr. Lecornu took to X after meeting and said they discussed, quote, our bilateral defense cooperation include Rafale Marine, Scorpene submarines, space as well as international situation, particularly in Ukraine, unquote. Mr. Doval also led the strategic dialogue in Paris with Emmanuel Bonnet, the diplomatic advisor to French President Emmanuel Macron. Mr. Doval met the French President Emmanuel Macron and apprised him about India's conversation with both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Indian Embassy in separate posts said that the dialogue anchors the strategic partnership of great trust and comfort and high ambitions and responsibilities in Indo-Pacific and beyond, from cyber to space. With this, we come to the end of this episode. But before I go, here is my take. The India-French strategic partnership focuses on enhanced cooperation in defense, counter-terrorism and trade. It emphasizes shared value of democracy, secularism, bolstered by collaboration in technology, climate change and cultural exchanges. This alliance seeks to strengthen regional stability and foster mutual economic growth through innovative initiatives and joint ventures. See you next week with new stories and their analysis. Thanks for watching and do post your comment on social media with hashtag DD with Danveer. Goodbye and take care.